Hey guys, MD Prepper here. Part 5 of my little portable first aid kit. This one is entitled Sprains, Strains, and Automobiles. Now we'll talk about those three here in a minute. But I'm going to talk about a few extra little pieces of your kit that may not be in your actual kit or you may need to add. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my next final vid. This is primarily a kit for day hikes, that type stuff, you know, not overnight. If you're doing overnight, one thing I would definitely throw in there, and this is just a representation because I don't have it here, is some aloe vera. You need a little bottle of aloe vera, maybe not this much, but I just got this little 2-ounce bottle here to show you. Probably 1 ounce is going to be more than enough. Why would you want aloe vera? And I would not recommend carrying the plant around. Kind of big. If you get burned, if you're spending the overnight somewhere, you're going to have a campfire, likely, almost certainly I would think, hope. There's a chance you may get burned. Is it from touching a hot handle of a pan, something like that? Do you get too close to the fire? Does your little teepee type setup collapse on you as you're putting extra wood in, all that, and you get yourself burned? Well, gonna need to treat that. Of course, you need pain control. Aloe vera is great. Obviously, flush it with cold water if you've got that, cold stream, something like that, and then put some aloe on it. As for overnight, again, not absolutely necessary, but another good thought, something to have around. So that's what this little bottle represents. A few other quick things. A bandana. Absolutely a must-have for anybody camping, hiking, anything. You're probably going to have one of these anyway. You're going to have it around your neck, you're going to have it in your pack, your back pocket, anywhere. You could throw this in your kit if you needed to. You can use this to filter out particulate out of water, just all sorts of millions of stuff. But primarily about this from the medical side, you can use this to wrap around wounds, to soak up blood, stuff like that. Use it for compression of an injury, something like that. All sorts of things you can do with a bandana. So that's what this is here for. Leave it in your kit, keep it outside. I keep mine outside the kit because I use bandanas for a lot more things. If you got somebody who's heat stroked, overheated, you can dump some cool water on this, put it over their neck, under their armpits, groin, that type of stuff to cool them off. So bandana's a must. Next, another thing that I would not keep necessarily in my kit for the survival kit, I keep it in a mess kit, toilet paper. Even if you're not going to have a mess kit, carry some toilet paper with you. This is a hygiene item, okay? One is none, two is one. You can also use this for tenders, starting fires, that type of stuff. You got to have some TP, okay? You just can't have too much of this. I don't care what your situation is. You know, you get out there, you get the runs. You may like using leaves. I don't. Never have. I just won't do it unless I had to. A little TP. Small, lightweight. Next, need some pickups. You need some tweezers, that sort of thing. I always carry a Swiss Army knife, so I've always got little tweezers here. There you go. That's small, but this should be sufficient for any kind of small little item like a bee stinger that you got to pull out. I always carry a Swiss Army knife anytime I'm out and about, away from home, you know, especially out in the woods. This little tweezer set's going to do the job. Anything bigger than this, you can pull out by hand. If your hands are sweaty in the hot summer sun, pull out your bandana, use an edge of that to grab it. Use the extra friction to pull out, you know, the twig that's sticking out of your palm or something, you know. If it's a big wound, it's a big piece of item in you, you may want to leave it in actually till you get medical care. But tweezer's nice to have. I got these giant pickups that I just grabbed out of my downstairs kit. My home kit, just to show you. This is way too big. I'd go for something a lot smaller, but I just didn't look for it tonight. Just tweezers. Okay, you need some kind of pickup. Pull out small stingers or anything, thorns, anything that just happens to end up in your flesh that you need to pull out real quick. So that's there. Maybe want some fingernail clippers, maybe not. If you got a fishing kit with you, you're probably going to have some clippers with you anyway, or maybe the knife or scissor section on your Swiss Army. So some fingernail clippers, they're small, they're good for fishing line, small clipping of little tags and small stuff. So yeah, you might want that in there in a personal kit. Me personally, dental floss. You say that's crazy. Well, it's a little bit of cordage, if you will, I can use to tie little stuff together if I need to. But you could braid it together to make some teeny tiny fishing line for small fish or whatever. But teeth, if you're eating out there, nothing more irritating to ruin the day in my opinion than, you know, having some beef jerky stuck between one of my back teeth that I just can't get out. So would I carry this whole little packet? Maybe not. I may just take a good long string of this, wrap it up, something like that, maybe keep it in my mess kit, tie around some toothpicks or matches or something. So again, another thought there. Alright, now onto sprains, strains, and automobiles. Sprains, you fall and you twist your wrist or ankle, something like that. Well, the first thing everybody tells you is put some ice on it. Well, yeah, that's good. Ice is fine, but you're probably not going to have ice out in the world. You may, if you got your camp kit, or if you got ice cubes or something like that in your canteen or whatever. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You shove that into a glove, shove it in a little plastic baggie or something. That's going to work just fine. If you've sprained your wrist or your ankle, something like that, the hike is over. The trip is over. You need to get the heck out of there. You don't need to wait. You know, well, I can sit here and wait till the swelling goes up. No, you just need to get out of there and get to a place where having a sprained wrist isn't a big deal. Like home. Not a big deal. Who cares? You're going to be okay. You know, get to your car, get back to civilization. So you hurt yourself, you need to get out. Any kind of sufficient injury, you're done. Okay? Don't man up. The heck with that. We're going to talk about long-term camping, long-term survival kits, and all that other stuff, homestead kits later. We're just talking about day or, you know, overnight type stuff. So you could carry an ice pack with you, okay? Cold pack. These instant cold pack you break and they cool down. They're okay, but they're not recommended for storing outside room temperature for long, all that. And they're kind of big and bulky. This is bigger than my little small medical plastic container, and it's almost as big, maybe not quite, it's not quite as wide as my Quick Lock kit. So do I really want to waste the space on this instant cold pack? Well, that's a personal opinion, personal decision. Again, am I going to sit there and ice my ankle as it slowly starts to swell and get, you know, tighter? No, I'm going to get the heck out of there. So for sprains, take your Tylenol, your ibuprofen, your whatever it is you like, naproxen, to kill the pain and get home. Okay, get to your vehicle. So that's sprains. Now strains rather. Any kind of sprain, you sprain your knee, you fall, whatever body part that you may sprain, you need this. You need an ace wrap, basic ace wrap. I would recommend a 4-inch standard bandage. I think they're 4 inches by, are they 5 feet? Yeah, 5.3 feet is this one. This one has a little metal clasps on it that are kind of junky if you're moving around, putting a lot of strain on them. Again, you've got duct tape in your other kit. Put that over there, hold it on, good and tight, good to go. You need this. A lot of things you can do with an ace wrap. I go for the 4-inch just because it's universal. 2s are too small sometimes. 6s or 8s are way too big for most purposes. This is going to get the job done. If it's too big and too wide, cut it in half. You just slice the thing open. You know, take your knife or the scissors off your Swiss Army and make it the size you need it to. So you need an ace wrap, definitely, just to get you out of bad conditions. You can do a lot with this. You can also use this for wound dressing, the outside compression on that wound, all that sort of stuff. Now, there's sprains and strains right there. You've already got mids in the med kit. Next, we're going to talk about automobiles. Now, we're not talking about automobiles quite yet. We're going to talk about getting the heck out of the bad situation. If you're working on somebody, they're hurt pretty bad, you know, they've fractured their ankle or something bad. Trauma, they're bleeding, something like that. You're going to need warmth. You need to keep that body warm, especially if they've lost a fair amount of blood. Okay, you don't want shock to set in. Keep them warm. If you've ever been in a trauma bay, it is hot. As a doctor with the clothes on and your gowns and all that, sweat should be running down the back of your, you know, your back in between your shoulder blades and all that. It should be very uncomfortable. If you got somebody going into shock, you need to keep them wrapped up. Lots of options for that. I would go for the standard Mylar blanket at the least. Don't use the sleeping bag. You do not want that. It's too much trouble. You want something you can wrap around whatever part of the body you need to and still access whatever you need to work on. So if somebody's going into shock because of a big leg wound, I can wrap their trunk in one leg with this while keeping the other one open so I can, you know, and free so I can work on it. The sleeping bags of the Mylar variety aren't going to help you much there. Now, that's okay, but the automobile part, if you've got somebody that bad hurt, you're going to have to get out of there. Now, of course, you may hopefully have one of your best survival tools on you, your cell phone, and hopefully you're within range to call for backup if you need it, maybe find some other hikers to help you get somebody out, something like that. But you may need to transport. Rather than this, now I usually keep a lot of these, you know, I keep one of these in my car and in my kit, even a smaller one than this, more compact. This is just for display. What I personally prefer for small and lightweight are these combat casualty blankets. They are unflakeable, kind of a plasticized olive drab on one side, and the other side is your Mylar. if you had to, if you absolutely had to, you could lay somebody on this thing and drag them out down the path. Is that recommended? Absolutely no, but if you've got to get out of there or get closer to help that's coming to look for you, yeah, I may choose to transport somebody. Again, I'm a physician, I got good training. I can get someone hopefully hemodynamically stable and move them if I feel it's necessary. As a clinical judgment, if you don't have much training, you may not want to do that. But I'd rather have this, something I could pull down a path, and hopefully, this is going to tear up in time, it's going to catch things. This is going to fall apart on you, okay? It's just going to rip right open, in my opinion. So that plasticized bottom is good. Obviously, these two in combination, you're dragging somebody with this and covering them with this one, even better. Here's another one of the Sol ones, which is bright orange on the outside. It's still paper thin overall. It's about the same grade as this. So good for keeping somebody warm, not for dragging them. One thing I almost always keep in a pack is a tarp. One of those standard blue tarps. Use them for shelter, rain catch, floor to sit on, that type of stuff. Just anything, ground cover. Those tarps are tremendous if you're going to need to drag somebody out or have a bunch of people, 4 guys on, one guy on each corner to pick somebody up and haul them out. Sure, you can make a litter or something like that. That's going to take time. If you're that hurt, you need to get out. You need to get out in a hurry. So there's my thoughts on that. That's sort of an automobile. It's transportation. Okay, it's a way to get out of there. Some people consider carrying those little splints and all that type stuff to splint up a wound, a foot, ankle injury. I wouldn't. If you can make a crutch for them, that's fine, but the easiest thing is going to have them put their arm over your shoulder and you guys just kind of limp your way out. Or if you've got a bunch of people, you can pick them up and carry them. Again, you're going to need something pretty sturdy like a tarp or something to do that, but it should be considered. Now, that's your automobile, your mobilization. Now, beyond that, your actual automobile. Always know how far you are from your automobile. If you got one of those circular loop trails that you're taking, know how far you are. Make sure you keep track of that. So is it quicker to turn around and go back or to finish the loop to get back to your vehicle? You need a more extensive medical kit in your car than you're going to carry on your person. That little kit I've been doing the review on. We'll talk about that later. So you can always have a lot more gear in your car, easy to take care of things. And obviously if it's your car, you're going to be able to get back into town or find a hospital or EMS or fire station, something like that to give you support. So there's your automobile side of things. Don't forget about your automobile, your base camp, if you will, your fallback position for extra medical gear. You may just need enough just to get back. You may have extra quick clots, that type of stuff in the car. Any number of things you may have in the car. I actually generally carry a small portable surgical kit. I would not recommend that to most of you because you probably don't know what you're doing. I can handle that and do quite well with a little surgical kit for stopping major bleeding and suturing things up in a hurry if I had to. Do not recommend that to the average guy, but sprains, strains, and automobiles, here we go. This is just some other options that you may want to consider. I think it's worth it. Next is going to be the total pack and some closing thoughts on the next video. Hope you like it, guys. Andy Prepper, out.